Hey guys, what's up? It's Thomas here once again. We're back with another reaction. I know, been a while, but finally got some free time. So, anyway, today's is a food theory called which bubblegum has the longest lasting flavor. So it gets more bang for your buck in this case. So, I'm actually kind of curious. I don't actually eat a lot of bubblegum, so I'm just kind of curious, like, which one would you get more of a bubblegum flavor? Then again, I don't know how much is going to affect me since, like I said, I don't chew gum, you know? I mean, I'll do it sometimes, but I don't know. I usually go for mint. Anyway, might as well see which gum lasts the longest. Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Here we go.
Hello, Internet.
Hey, Ollie!
Food theory.
Perfect. Look, I'm already replaced.
Only 8 left. Or 7, I think, in this case.
I am joined on the couch today for a very special episode of Food Theory by...
Ollie.
Ollie! Hey!
And Ollie had a very special question for this week's Food Theory. Ollie, do you want to tell me what the question was?
What gum lasts the longest of flavor?
So as you might already be able to tell, today's episode was a bit of a special request. You see, while I love my son Ollie more than anything in the world, Ollie loves gum more than anything in the world. To him it goes gum, mech suits, Gravity Falls, and then me and Steph. And so when he became old enough to understand that Mommy and Daddy ran a food experiment channel, he presented us with a very important question for his 5-year-old brain. Which gum has flavor that's gonna last the longest? He's been asking for this episode for the better part of the last year, and with me and my final stretch of videos, now felt like the perfect time to tackle it. So today, we're gonna kick some butt and chew bubblegum. And there's no actual butts to kick, so we're just doing the bubblegum thing.
So Ollie, do you have any hypotheses about which one is gonna last the longest?
I think it's kind of like a hard decision. I don't really know.
Is there one that you're most excited to try?
I think I'm most excited to try bazooka.
I'm sorry that you're gonna be disappointed by that one.
Turns out he was not. As for the rest of us, yeah, it wasn't our favorite.
Oof.
Oh my god. Oh, I forgot who I remember.
But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about today's experiment, shall we? Our goal today is to crown one gum as the ruler of the wad. And in order to do that, we're going to be evaluating 21 different gums across 3 major criteria. First off, we have flavor. How tasty is the gum? It's pretty self-explanatory. Next, we have texture. This is the mouthfeel and chewability of the gum. This grades whether a gum is comfortable to keep in your mouth or if it feels like you're gnawing on a spare tire. Finally, we have ourselves time. This is the length of time that it takes for the sticky gum to lose its flavor and become a bland piece of goo that you just want to spit out. Seeing as this is the criteria that Ollie was so intent on exploring, he's devised himself the perfect means of testing it.
How about we set a timer for like how long the gum's flavor lasts, so we like know how long, and you could pause the timer when I spit out the gum.
You can tell that he's been thinking about this episode for a while. Also, let's be clear so we're all on the same page. I recognize that this whole episode was just his backdoor way of getting us to buy tons of gum to have lying around the house. Anyway, per Ollie's instructions, me, Steph, and HR department extraordinaire Rachel are each gonna be chewing every piece of gum and timing it. That way we can average out our scores to best estimate the average chew time for each brand of gum. And since we're dealing with so many different types of gum today, we're actually gonna break things down into 3 separate rounds. Round 1 is dedicated to gum targeted at kids. I'm talking about all the Hubba Bubbas, the Bubbliciouses, the bubble tapes that you remember from your childhood. Round 2 will be for gums that are marketed towards adults. And finally, there's round 3, which will be the Wacky Bracky, where we take all the oddball gimmick gums like green apple flavored gummy paste or gum cigarettes, and they're all gonna duke it out for their shot at the title. Once we've tallied up all the scores for each gum division, the top 3 gums will head to the final round, where they'll be judged by none other than Ollie himself. Which one will earn the coveted Ollie seal of approval, and which one will have their bubble burst? Today is certainly a mystery that'll give us plenty to chew on. Round number...
I'm actually kind of curious to see how this goes. So apparently the adults pick their flavor, and with the top 3 of each round, moving on to Ollie, who's determining the king of the kings, I guess. Though I'm not sure how well he's going to go with the adult flavors. I feel like that's not going to win one, you know, in Ollie's case. Well, anyway, might as well see how these gums last. Anyway.
1 kid flavors.
Actually, has anyone
Our
ever
7
swallowed
contestants
gum?
for round 1
You know the whole,
represent the gold standard for childhood chewing, ranging from double bubble gumballs to bog standard Bubblicious to the tooth-breaking bazooka and the iconic bubble tape.
A staple of childhood.
That being said, though, don't you dare be one of those people that I see circulating online who like pop it out of the bubble tape dispenser and like bite into it.
That cannot be real.
It's for a rise.
It is. It's people provoking the internet just to provoke the internet.
Yeah.
If you are that person,
Stop.
Yes, stop.
Stop it.
Who hurt you?
Stop.
I'm sorry. Please
What's wrong with you?
seek help.
However, as we got started with the experiment, one thing became immediately clear. Each gum has itself a different size. I mean, you can pop just a small single gumball into your mouth, or you could shove an entire roll of bubble tape in there. To make it a fair fight, we decided to stick to a single serving size of each respective brand. So, with that out of the way, it was time to start the experiment with the classic
double
gumball
bubble,
machine
baby.
gumball, double bubble.
Wow, this is hard.
There's already so much saliva in my mouth.
Right? Oh,
Man.
wet, hard, chewy experience. I should stop. It's
Yeah.
hard.
That's an innuendo, anybody?
Oh, we're already off to a great start here, friend.
We had literally just started the episode, and already the suggestive puns
Yeah,
were
pretty
popping up
much.
all over the place.
I'm really enjoying my artificial cherry over here. It's
Yeah,
very
that's good.
artificial. It's very little cherry.
I'm already losing it.
I was gonna say, that being said,
Let's go
we
with
are
that.
definitely on the down arc. We are less than a minute in,
Damn, really?
and it's like gone.
It's going down fast.
Yeah.
Wow, it's going down fast.
Taking
But
it.
it is a workout. I feel my jaw. It is a small ball,
Persona.
but it is a hardy ball.
It's a small
Phrasing?
ball, but it's a hardy
Hardy
ball.
ball.
Slap that one on my gravestone. Anyway,
much.
2 minutes later,
A lackluster 90 seconds.
Okay,
What
90
can you
seconds
buy for
to start it
a
off.
quarter
True,
these
that's true.
Much-
You know, you
Curious
got
to see how-
90 seconds of
What's the
moderate
longest gonna be?
pleasure.
Let's just move on to the next
Do we have to
one.
rate the other
Yes.
stuff?
We
Yes,
have
okay.
so many to get through.
We do.
And we're already
True.
in such bad innuendo territory.
overall, our first contender kicked things
Okay,
off with a
2.6
pretty
on
disappointing
texture,
start.
no
Low
bonus
scores
stores.
across the board, which meant Bubble Yum was up next.
Flavor was
And unlike the
5.6,
gumballs,
okay.
Bubble Yum's intended serving
swear.
size was huge. More than triple the size
This
of
is
a
like a
mini
Starburst.
gumball, which, you know, gave us plenty of
Oh,
chew
a
time
buff
to
one
learn
at that.
more about each other.
So this is a long one. Want to hear a weird story
What?
about bubblegum?
I love to hear a weird story about bubblegum. As everyone with misophonia slowly cringes away from the computer.
So when I was 8, I, for some godly unknown reason,
Yeah?
I really wanted braces.
Wait, you?
The
What a
only
brace.
kid in history to say that.
But
She's like, oh.
someone told me once that if you chew a lot of gum, it'll actually, it'll mess up your teeth. It'll make your teeth crooked, which I'm sure is a complete lie. But when I would chew gum, which wasn't like that often, but if I would chew gum, I would purposely try and tangle it around in my teeth to try to make my teeth more crooked to increase the likelihood that I would get braces. I was
Holy
so
shit.
sorry to my parents who probably spent like $12,000 trying to fix my teeth.
Oh. What?
That wasn't the only secret to come out during all this.
Holy crap. What? Okay, I'm sorry, but will we want braces? I mean, I'm lucky I never had braces growing up. I did get a lot of cavities. Yeah, I know, surprisingly. Though I did get one younger, well, did lose a tooth once, here, see on finger. Okay, sorry, that was gross for anyone. But, yeah, basically had a iron crown on there, and, well, had an airhead, and ripped the crown right out. I don't know if we have any photos of that, but basically, and for the record, they tried to replace it with a new crown. Didn't work, so out came the tooth. I think my dentist actually recently said that it would, degrade, but so far my other teeth, around it, they're still fine. So, I don't know if I just have, good genes on that front, or, I don't know, maybe I'm just lucky. Like I said, it's kind of lower, where my finger is, right here. But still, I don't know. Maybe it's because I kind of focus more on this side, since, like I said, missing tooth here, but I guess I'm trying to, not do it as much, since, like I said, might degrade. So, to each their own, as they say, but still, even I never did that willingly. Also, back to my question earlier, has anyone actually willingly swallowed the gum? I have an old, trope of, you swallow gum, it gets stuck in there? Which, apparently is true from, well, what I remember from, Recreo. But I don't think it's that bad, since, it's still digestible. Right? I don't know. I might have to look that up later, just to make sure, but, moving along.
I can't blow bubbles.
What?
Really?
Wait, what?
I can't blow bubbles.
How have I known you for this long and you can't blow bubbles?
I can't blow bubbles.
I don't even know how to blow a
I
bubble.
know this.
I'm incapable of blowing bubbles.
Okay,
It is perhaps my deepest, darkest secret. And as you might imagine, it suddenly became my co-host's life's work to teach me what I needed to know. It led to a very moist journey.
yeah. And then
Nope.
you just pretty much just spit at me.
You can't do it. I've never learned
I
how to
never
blow
really
bubbles.
tried,
I've
to be honest.
a couple times
No
in my life.
way.
I've never been able to.
I've known
She's
Matthew
still
for
holding it in there.
17 years and I had no idea. He
To
couldn't
be
blow
fair, not a lot of
bubbles.
gum.
You've hidden this secret so well.
Well, I've also known you for 17 years, and I didn't know that you purposely tried to wreck your mouth for braces. So I feel like we're learning a lot about each other in this episode.
True.
You can't
You
do
just
it.
keep working at it. You have 30 pieces of gum to try today.
And so, try I did. Try being the operative word here.
Is there like, oh, yep, something. Yeah, it's something there. Oh, just.
Oh, you got Bubblicious coming up too.
Well,
Did I get some? I heard some pop.
I think that was the light.
I heard some pop. Did I do it?
They're actually going a lot longer. How's the time showing that? Oh, oh.
Something in the technique just escapes me. Honestly, blowing bubbles might just be the single hardest thing that I've ever had to do for this channel. And that's saying a lot coming from a guy who's eaten a Christmas tree and suffered through intensely spicy hot sauces.
How are you extracting your tongue from the bubble gum?
It's a great question.
What do you mean? The tongue doesn't stay in there.
I have a hard time
You
getting
set
my
it up
tongue
on
out.
your teeth. You flatten it out.
I don't
Can
even
you
know.
mention that Rachel is our HR department?
There it is. Rachel from HR.
Rachel, everybody.
Once my tongue has been inserted, I have a really hard time pulling it back out.
I think practice makes perfect, you know?
We're just having a
This was
ball
the point
today.
where it dawned on us that this was going to be a long shoot. So to move things along, let me give you the abridged taste
Okay,
test.
so
Bubble Yum
6
ended
minutes.
up scoring 8s across the board in flavor, and an average slightly higher in texture thanks to its pillowy chew, allowing it to set the bar for high quality, long-lasting
Dang,
gum.
6 minutes already.
Bubblicious watermelon was
So,
fairly
not sure
solid
what the
across
bonus
the
is
board,
for.
but where it really
5
shined
minutes.
was with the bubbles. It got consistently
7.
large bubbles from both Rachel and Steph, and it even gave me my first bubble experience.
Oh, you got one! You got one!
That
Hey!
Right? Now, for any of you who are like me and are incapable of getting a bubble to form, I looked up the science and technique for mastering bubble bending. For starters, make sure you're chewing bubble gum and not chewing gum. I didn't know this until doing research and prep for this episode, but not all gum is capable of blowing bubbles. You see, both types of gum are composed of 4 main components. There's the gum base, which is historically derived from gum tree resins, but are now mostly made with synthetic rubber. There's a softener that prevents the gum from becoming too hard on the shelf. There's sweeteners like sugar or aspartame, and then finally there's the flavor agent that gives the gum its distinct taste. What makes bubblegum special though is that it has more elastomers in its gum base than chewing gum. On a molecular level, elastomers are long chain polymers that give materials an elastic quality. In order to get a bubble out of bubblegum, it's recommended that you chew out most of the flavor. This is because the sugary flavor of most bubblegums make the gum stiffer. Chewing out the sugar then unshackles the elastomers and gives them the chance to really stretch. Once the gum is soft and it's lost its sugar, the trick is to flatten out the wad of gum
Get
using
rid
your
of the
tongue and the roof
taste?
of your mouth. Then it's a matter of creating a pocket of air to enter with your tongue. Next, you'll want to breathe out slowly. I didn't know this at the time, but you're supposed to blow from your diaphragm. If you just blow from your lips, you're going to end up turning that wet wad into a projectile. Follow these
Like
tips,
that.
and the results will speak for themselves.
You got it. You got it.
Hey! Not bad!
was the best one.
I'm so proud of
That's
myself.
great.
Yay!
Mediocre but new personal record bubble is the next gum that we tested, the Hubba Bubba Max. Score-wise, this gum
Hubba
ended
Bubba
up being
Bubba.
very similar
Oh, wow.
in taste and texture with the Bubblicious. But disappointingly, while it looks
No
like it
flavor,
has a gummy
no texture,
gusher on
but
the
it did
packaging,
go
the
well.
reality is that the center filling is just darker dyed gum. The interesting thing though is that this gum led us to a surprising discovery. Despite producing the largest bubble of the experiment, this achievement came at a price: the flavor's staying power. We found that with all their bubble blowing, Rachel and Steph's flavors were fading faster than my gum that I was chewing away on. So what's the deal? Well, from what we found out, it has less
it
to
the
do with the
saliva
act of
mixing
blowing
in?
bubbles and more to do with the saliva itself. The vigorous chew that you need to stretch the elastomers in the gum naturally circulates more saliva throughout your mouth. And as we mentioned in our toothbrush episode over on Style Theory, genetically, everyone has slightly different levels of saliva. The composition of our spit is influenced by genetics, diet, our stress levels, even the time of day. Rachel, for instance, consistently was the first to spit out the majority of the
Bye.
gums throughout this experiment, likely meaning that her saliva was just better equipped for breaking down the chemical bonds that were embedded
I'm
in the
guessing
gum.
Matt's
Either that, or she had
not
work
the
to do and was
best.
in a hurry to get through the 5 hours of shooting that we wound up doing.
Sheesh.
Speaking of how long we
5?
were sitting there, by the way, by the end of the third gum, our jaws were exhausted. That's why Steph decided to bust out the big guns.
That's a
What is
thing?
this?
Yeah, what is that?
And what am I supposed to do with this?
Rub it all over your face.
Oh my god.
Raising? A chin massager?
Feel nice? Is it working?
It did not. That said, it also didn't matter. I needed all the
What?
help I could get for Bazooka.
3, 2, 1, go.
Down the hatch.
Oh my god.
Nope. No dice. No dice.
That do I remember. Oh man.
Ow?
That's tough.
You know?
Oh wow, I shouldn't do this. It's permanent.
Look at,
You
so,
remember the
like
big
a,
hydraulic
feel like
press?
you're actually chewing bazookas. Sorry, I had to go there.
Love
Yeah.
There needed to be a video about hydraulic press versus bazooka bubble.
that. Valid.
Oh my god.
Are you okay?
It was just as bad as I remembered. Almost as bad as the jokes that they come packaged with.
Really?
Is this enough for 3 socks? It's holding balls in yarn. 3 socks? My mom wants to knit socks for my brother in the army. Why 3
Like 3
socks?
socks.
You wrote in this letter, 2 weeks in the army, and I've grown another foot.
What?
I ordered apple, waiter. This looks like peach. This is referring to a pie.
What
does
does
it
it taste
taste like? Says the waiter. I'm not sure, he says. Then the waiter says, then what difference does it make?
Ouch.
For those of you who aren't
This
aware,
feels cringy.
Bazooka is iconic for its packaging, which comes with a short mini comic and fortune on every slab of gum. It's a cool enough feature that we gave Bazooka a bonus point for creativity, but in the end, it wasn't nearly enough to make up for the texture or flavor. That brought us to
that's
the last
out.
2 contenders in the kid category.
Okay, the Big
A
League
head-to-head
Chew
battle
and the
between
Hubba
two
Bubba
titans,
Bubble
Big
Tape.
League Chew and Bubble Tape. In one corner, we had the tall, pink, and handsome 6 feet
The
of childhood
long
memories
gum
rolled up in
gum.
the most iconic
Gum
gum
gum.
packaging of all
Sorry, I don't know
time.
why I
In
said
the
it like
other
that.
corner, we had the All-American Baseball Classic snack that was every kid's gateway into the world of chewing tobacco. Who would win the
That
battle?
or
Well, the
I'm
results
pretty sure
immediately
the
spoke for
cards.
themselves.
Oh,
Well,
this is too soft. It's
But
like
all the
there's
other ones-
no elasticity in this at all.
You
so
bite down
nothing
through
on the
it,
tape.
and your teeth just pass through. Like there's no substance here. Oh, that was
think
soft to begin with.
Oh, right off the bat.
Wow.
Oh, I like these first few chews though. I have to say they're very nice.
And when it came to bubbles, it was a similar story.
Oh,
Nothing. Looks like they're even struggling to get through that. Look at that. Like, she can't even
no.
get it out.
The holes happen immediately.
Guess that's why it's called the bubble tape.
I mean,
Oh, wow.
everything's bad for
Oh, there she goes.
bubble.
There
Yeah,
she
yeah.
goes. Hey.
Not too bad.
Big
You have to
League
do
Chew,
more
everybody.
press.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
All in
wow.
all, Big League Chew brought out the big league numbers. In fact, not
Holy
only was its
crap, it
texture
won.
the best of the round, it was also the longest lasting, setting a record at 9
look at
minutes
that.
and 38 seconds.
With second
In
place
fact,
going
when
to
all
Hubba
results were
Bubba
tallied,
Max,
Big League
and
Chew upset
third one
all
with
the
the Hubba
fan
Bubba tape.
favorites and came out on top as the best overall kids gum. Turns out, it's in the official Baseball Hall of Fame for a
Bubble
reason.
gum,
But don't
outta
worry there,
here.
Bubble Tape fans. It's still top gum in one category, angering the internet.
don't. Wow. You did it. You really did it. Oh,
Didn't deserve that.
none of us did.
just the
Round
face
number
of
2,
that.
adult
Okay,
gums.
time for the
As
adults.
we headed into the adult gums, little did we know that we had a lot more chewing to undertake. It turns out that these
Oh?
chewing gums retain their flavor much longer than their bubblegum counterparts, like double the time in most cases. And the worst
Really?
part of it all is that a lot of the gums just ended up being very similar across all 3
Oh, yeah, those
categories.
chewing
Luckily,
gums.
you don't have to sit through the 2 hours of endless chewing that we had to. So while Matt passed is chewing the day away, let's just talk about what's going into these chewing gums and why they're so different from the first batch.
Yeah.
You see, most of these adult gums are recommended by 4 out of 5 dentists. That struck us as a weird fact,
Yeah, why
so we
4 out
decided
of
to
5?
dig in. Turns out it has to do with the sugar substitutes. Sugar-free
Free.
gum can actually help protect your teeth from cavities. A natural sugar alcohol called xylitol is usually
Weird,
added
since I
to
never really
sugar-free
had
chewing
gum.
gums in place of sucrose. The reason why sugar is bad for your teeth is that the bacteria in plaque metabolizes it into acid that burns cavities into your pearly whites. But the bacteria in plaque is unable to use xylitol as a food source. Adding insult to injury, xylitol also increases the amino acids and ammonia levels of plaque, which further neutralize plaque's acidic qualities. By curbing this harmful bacteria's growth, xylitol prevents tooth decay and bad breath. In addition, chewing gum after a meal increases saliva flow to your mouth, washing away additional food debris that would otherwise stick to your maw and feed that bacteria. Oh, and if you think you're missing any vital action while I'm sharing you all this, don't worry about it.
No, we're not.
So here's how the round shook out. Mentos gum was far and away the worst in the 3 categories.
For me, it was a 5 because knowing that
gum
this
is
is
actually
Mentos,
the
I
best.
usually have, if I'm going to have Mentos, I have the candy version, and I had the same texture biting into it. I wanted it to be candy. I expected it to be candy. There were moments where I was like, is this gum? Is this really gum? I've met a 5.
You could say that it kind of sat in the uncandy valley.
Oh!
Joining Mentos in the bottom 4 of this round, we had Trident, followed by Orbit, and then Cinnamon Icebreakers. While the cinnamon ended up being one of my favorite flavors of the entire day, the short life and stiff competition hurt its overall placement. Icebreakers, you may have only lasted 6 minutes and 48 seconds, but you'll last forever in my heart. Tied for best flavor of the day was a classic of the gum world. Our 3rd place finisher for adult gums, Wrigley's Double Mint. Mr. Wrigley is actually the IRL Willy Wonka of the gum world. His company controls 40% of worldwide gum sales, so it's no surprise that one of his classic flavors placed so highly. In fact, the battle for the best adult chewing gum came down between 2 of his other top sellers, 5 Gum and Extra. Yeah, as it turns out, Wrigley has really cracked the code for a satisfying gum chewing experience. And so no matter who won this bracket, he was ultimately the big winner, walking home with the gold, the silver, and the bronze. As far as our top 2 goes, not only did both 5 Gum and Extra hit above average marks in the texture and flavor categories, but they also had flavor that lasted long past the 10-minute mark. In the end, 5 Gum proved that it was more than just a meme, stimulating our senses with a chewing average of 13 minutes and 6 seconds.
This has real staying power. 5 Gum. Last 10.
Now that the boring dentist approved adult round has itself a champion, let's check out what the wacky bracket has in store. Round number 3, wacky bracket. So these are gums that just don't quite fit into the other categories. They're a little bit off the wall, which was a nice change after the 2 hours of monotonous chewing that we were left with for round 2. On our sampling platter, we had mini chickles, gum fries, Glee all-natural chewing gum, the fruit-shaped seedlings, spruce tree gum, gummy gel, and even more tobacco propaganda in the form of candy cigarettes. And let me just make one thing clear right at the top of this round. Practically all of these sucked. While the mini chickles were fun, their tiny size also brought tiny flavor. But I'd rather a small amount of flavor any day compared to whatever flavor the gum fries were trying to serve.
Oh, I'm eating dry powder.
No dice.
That is supposed to be sweet.
Hey, boy,
but
gum
it's like
fries. Thank
3
you.
doors away from sweet.
Not only is the flavor diminishing pretty quickly, but it's actually getting worse. The flavor is changing and becoming more and more synthetic.
I don't use the word heinous too often in my
Pretty
life.
heinous.
This is heinous.
It tastes expired.
Fortunately, the fries didn't have much staying power.
So they're
I
out.
Cleanse my mouth with the healthiest chewing gum brand that we could get our hands on, Glee. And right away with Glee, you could tell that it was the healthy option.
100% natural. No plastic.
What?
I'll say that.
Plastic. No artificial colors, no artificial flavors, no artificial sweeteners. This is cane sugar, gum base, which is the chicle, Candelia wax, citric acid, brown rice syrup, gum Arabic, natural flavors, strawberry, raspberry, and blueberry, radish.
Radish? What? Why is that in
a
there?
gum competition full of big wads of sugar. Yeah, healthiness is not scoring you any points. We then moved on to the very strange seedlings, which are more or less the same double bubble gum balls that we tried in the first round, but with 2 added gimmicks. First, they're shaped like a fruit, which is a lot of fun. Secondly, they're filled with little grains of candy inside that act like seeds. You can rattle them around like little maracas.
You can barely hear it, I think.
But for as cool as these realistic looking mini oranges and lemons were, they were not for the weak of jaw.
Don't have a hard time cracking them.
Don't break a teeth.
I gotta say, though, my jaw
just
feels like
don't
it's
break a
getting
tooth,
worked
all right?
out
I'm not paying for the dentist.
This one in particular, it's really hard.
It doesn't get easier.
work-
I mean, it does get easier because the beginning was really tough, but it doesn't get easy.
Despite technically earning the longest chew of the round, their texture was so rough and grainy that it tanked any chance of winning. Which brings us to the next one, which kind of needs an explanation. You see, this one comes to us thanks to the Christmas tree episode from a couple weeks ago. We had a late shipment of spruce gum that we were originally going to be using for that episode, but it arrived late, so we figured we could use it here. And if you've learned anything during my attempts to get my family and employees to consume an entire spruce tree, spruce flavoring is really strong. Since we've had this gum kicking around the office for a while, Rachel actually knew what we were getting ourselves into.
I'm excited to see y'all's reaction to the texture specifically.
You had it?
Okay,
The texture.
Yes.
When you tell me
Oh,
spruce
boy.
gum, I'm
This
surprised
ain't
that
getting
it's not
well.
the flavor of it. That's
I mean,
Ollie's
they're
gonna
all surprising.
regret those
In terms of
seedlings.
timing, I don't think
You know
we're
it's
gonna,
gonna move on to
we're
the
gonna
farm.
make it to the end.
Well, let's see.
Really?
So
Okay.
I think probably
Well,
try
good
to
luck,
do it
guys.
as long as you possibly can.
really?
Yeah.
Spruce gum.
Oh no.
It looks like a little Tootsie Roll.
Yes, it does.
Kinda
It
do.
looks kind of cute.
Spruce gum in 3,
2. She's like, wait for it. Oh, there we go. Let's not have it.
Ew. Ew.
Yep, not fans.
No.
Slide.
Oh,
Luckily, this ain't moving on.
It has a very
Ollie got saved.
Texture, it like breaks apart in your mouth when you get it, but then it gets softer, and it's almost like,
Oh yeah. You have
Ugh.
to congeal it with your spit.
Yeah, upon first biting into it, it explodes into a dry, woodsy powder, which just goes to show kids, purchasing loose candies from strangers off Etsy is always a bad idea.
It does remind me a little bit of like a Tootsie Roll. Like I keep biting it and I
Old-ass
keep
Tootsie
hoping
Roll. Ugh.
that it'll like lessen in my mouth.
It's like having a piece of bark in your mouth. No, I keep waiting
Luckily,
for some
not
sort of
planting
sweetness
any
to come out.
trees. Thank
it
you.
doesn't get better.
It is not emerging. Oh, the flavor comes on in the second wave.
Oh yeah.
When you breathe
comes
out,
in
it's
waves?
pure pine needles. I mean, just absolutely unadulterated fur. I feel like I'm losing the will to chew.
Ash is handling this well.
Yeah, it's like I'm chewing the concept of nature.
Like I'm showing the concept of nature. Yeah. 2024.
Thanks,
Now,
Ash.
this is me totally not making an excuse to spit out this pine sol flavored Tootsie Roll, but I actually think the flavor does go away. It's just that the spruce lingers on in your mouth for a long time afterward. So without reasoning, we decided to call our homemade spruce tree
Yeah,
gum
that's
totally
out.
flavorless at 351. Our penultimate gum of the experiment
go.
was Victory branded gum cigarettes. And let me tell you, the packaging on these bad boys is shockingly realistic.
I didn't realize that they were like this.
What the heck?
What?
But you open the pack.
What?
And, I mean, you are literally getting a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah. Ash, you like candy cigarettes too, right?
I do.
You want one of these?
For sure.
Wow.
Are you
You're
sure?
Such an enabler, Steph.
I know.
Just say no, Ash.
You want one, honey?
Just say no.
Saying yes.
Wait, put it in
Wait,
your
isn't
mouth
this
and blow.
supposed
Does
to be
it
like a
roll?
gateway
Oh.
thing? Or
Right,
was that
right.
candy cigarettes? Oh my god! It blew!
Is it supposed to do that? Did you know how it did
No!
I
Ash,
vaguely
what a-
remember it from
Are
my
you kidding?
childhood. Yeah. Yeah, you only get like one out of it.
No way.
That's nuts. This is nuts.
This is propaganda.
Yeah, no kidding.
It is.
Like,
so my
ooh,
question
eat it.
is,
Wow.
does it get a bonus point for that? Because
Do we?
I'm real conflicted. On one hand, I'm like, that's really fun and cool, but on the other hand, it's like, but it's cigarettes for kids.
But if we're gonna give Big League a bonus point, I feel like this can also have a bonus.
This is a very creative presentation, I have to say.
Okay, let's give it a bonus point.
okay, there you go.
It's at this point that I feel compelled to share the message. Don't
Yeah.
smoke, theorists. It's gross. It'll rot your body into an early grave. That said, this obviously isn't a cigarette, it's a stick of gum. I just want to make that point very,
Yeah,
very
please.
clear.
And
because
also,
3 minutes
don't
of
eat
chewing
cigarettes.
a stick of gum
You're gonna
suddenly
regret it.
became obvious to me.
Actually gets much softer.
Oh, no.
What?
Who's gonna win this round?
I don't know.
The smoking gum is gonna win this round.
Smoking propaganda is gonna win the third round.
You're gonna give this to your child?
Really?
No, and what's worse is that Big League Chew won round number 1. No, we're in the darkest timeline.
Like Big League Chew, these candy cigarettes scored remarkably high. The flavor was good, it lasted a while, the texture was nice, especially when you compare it to the lineup of stinkers that we had throughout round 3. But there was still one contender left, a glimmer of hope that this love letter episode dedicated to my son didn't have to hard pivot into a strange promotion for tobacco-related gum products. And that hope was gummy green apple paste. Could this toothpastey gel-based
paste?
gum keep me from being
Didn't
scientifically
we just see that
obligated into
earlier?
giving my
I don't
son
think
a
it would
gateway
last long.
gum?
Right? Nope. Nuh-uh.
No, it could not.
I thought the pine was the worst texture. It's not, it's this. Is this gum?
You think
Oh, I
Golly
think
was
that-
watching
Yeah,
this
there
behind
was
the
no
scenes?
hope. This
Just
was truly the darkest timeline. With 3 rounds
Bye-bye.
complete, the results were in. The top
Here we go.
contenders were 5 Gum, Big League Chew, and Candy Cigarettes. So, not
Wow.
wanting to skew the results, but also not wanting to feed our son a bunch of child-friendly propaganda, we decided to rebrand things a little bit. Ollie would be tasting the creatively named 5 Gum, Shredded Gum, and Stick Gum. Let's just hope that he never asks us to pick up more at the store. Final round,
Yeah.
Ollie's choice. After 5...
here we go. This is gonna be interesting. Like the fact they were worried about like the candy cigarettes. Like, jeez. But just I have to ask. Like, I again never had any of this stuff, so I don't know if like any of this works. Cause what? And also, Big League propaganda. What? Did I miss something? I don't know. I feel like I missed something, but well, let's see which one Ollie chooses. Will it be the cigarettes, Big League, or 5? Let's find out.
5
Curious to see what
hours
happens.
of patiently waiting for Mom and Dad to finally allow him to test the mountain of gum that he'd been eyeing, my boy was off to the races.
Can I start chewing?
Oh, yeah.
Start chewing.
Start whichever
Ready,
one you want.
go.
Oh wow, straight for you know what? The cigarettes.
Start the stopwatch.
We
Oh,
got
you
it.
want me to
We
type?
got it.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
we got you covered, kid.
Absolutely.
There you go. And are you gonna go until it loses its flavor?
Whoa.
Oh man.
I'm usually
Ooh.
just focused on the gum.
Just
Fair.
He's focused on the gum. As he should be.
single-minded. I appreciate your resolve.
Focused on the gum.
To me, this is kind of a short-lasting gum.
Yep.
I
Really?
think the flavor's all done.
Okay.
The flavor's all
Oh,
done.
okay.
Spit it out.
Wow,
Spit it right into the trash
what was that?
can.
That was 128.
Okay.
Wow, that
ready?
didn't last long.
Oh.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
Big League coming up.
This really tastes like Hubba Bubble Bubble tape.
So you discovered that. Well done.
Okay, it kind of lost its flavor.
Already?
Really?
Okay.
No way. Okay, so that was...
Hold up, what?
1 minute and 22 seconds.
Now this
Holy
one is
crap.
a very minty one. Okay.
Okay, Wrigley, what do you got?
A million times I've got this.
Okay.
Fair.
Okay.
Come on,
Got
kid.
a spearmint extra. I'm kind of open with this piece for now.
Okay, great.
Wait, already?
It was a minute 30.
30.
All right.
Oh, that
Also
one
threw
won.
the slab of the gum that he'd been requesting forever, Bazooka.
Bazooka gum.
Bazooka.
Bazooka.
Just as a warning, this one starts off very hard.
Very hard. It will
Yeah,
get
just-
softer, but it
Yeah,
starts off
just
hard.
watch your teeth.
Guys.
5 years
Wow.
old and he's already a teenager.
Pretty much. I don't care, guys. You need help?
So it says, Mortimer, why are you late? You said we should obey the traffic signs. That's right. Well, I obeyed
He's
it.
like,
It says,
he's
"Cool,
not even,
slow down."
he's not even paying attention.
He's like, I obeyed it. I slowed down before I got
Matt, he's not even paying
So
attention.
there it is.
That orange.
Yoink.
Lol.
Nice try.
Okay, so clearly the comic wasn't delivering on everything Ollie had hoped it would. But hey, he didn't hate it. And more importantly, the fortune, yeah, that one hit hard. So your fortune is, you can get what you want by asking the right person.
Grandpa.
Or if you want an
Grandpa.
episode dedicated to gum, Mommy and Daddy.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this fortune has already proven true. But what would be his overall winner? Well, defying all odds,
Bazooka?
it actually was the bazooka. He chewed it the longest, he loved the comic, even if he didn't quite understand it, and for the next 3 days, he chose that as his dessert of the day, over all other gums,
Really?
candies, cookies, and ice cream that we could offer him. I don't know what was more shocking, the fact that he liked it so much, or the fact that he still has teeth after chewing those bricks for 3 days straight. That said,
Maybe
when it came
kids'
to
teeth
our
are more
actual
valuable.
results
Or
and the
some,
3
no.
finalists
You
that
got
we had
me.
for this episode, what did Ollie say? Of the 3 gums,
Just those 3.
the stick gum,
Yeah, stick,
the shreddy gum,
shreddy,
and the spearmint
5 gum.
Which
What do
was
you got?
your favorite? Which would you say is the
I
top?
think it's the shred gum.
Hey, Big League.
And there you have it, friends. Of all the gum in the world, Ollie gives the coveted seal of approval to Shred Gum, aka Big League Chew. Who knew that family-friendly chaw would be so good? Guess I'm gonna have to lock this video away from Ollie until he turns 18. Anyway, with my parental promise now fulfilled, there was one thing left to do. Give Ollie,
Come on, Ollie.
his first ever sign-off.
That's just a theory. A food theory.
Happy chewing.
Hey.
Hey, if you want some to chew
Oh, that's actually kind of sweet of him to do that, you know? Okay, so for the adults, look like Big League wins all these votes. So let me know if you actually had any of these types of gum. Which one would you prefer? What you prefer? Honestly, I think I would have gone for 5 gum at least. Like I said, never had Big League Chew. Just never found the time to try it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Till next time, Addy.